Starting the first of a 3-part series. And in this series, we're going to give you the 3 things that you should focus on at the different courses of your e-commerce sales journey, I think is a good way to put it. So let's jump in. Okay, so we are going to talk today in the first of 3 series about what you can do to grow your e-commerce sales. And this is for all channels, guys. This isn't just a Wayfair thing or just a Walmart thing. This is a across the board wise thing, and that there are different things you actually need to do at each different stage. So Josh, do you mind sharing with us what are the 3 things that we need to do from the beginning?
Sure. You need to have product inventory.
Okay, hold on. I'm going to draw this out, gang, so be patient with me. So we need product inventory.
Yeah.
All right. What's the second one?
Lead time.
Lead time. And third?
Merchandising.
Merchandising. That old M word. Okay. So we're going to break these down a little bit individually. So let's focus first, Josh, on inventory. If you're a brand new seller and you don't really have a lot of experience, how can you use your inventory to grow your sales?
Well, you just start with however many units you can get in from your supply source. You don't have any sales history, so maybe it's just you want 20 units per item to get started.
Okay. And then for the lead time, there's some best practices associated with lead time.
Yeah, best practice is 24 hours.
But that's not realistic.
24 to 48, 72, really all orders should be shipped within 72 hours. After 72 hours, it's a big competitive disadvantage.
Okay, agreed on that one. 100% agree. And then our last thing is merchandising. So let's actually, we've glossed over the couple of these, but let's actually dive a little bit deeper into this. What particularly about merchandising do we need to focus on? Just give me one thing to start.
Got to have really good high-res images.
Images. And the reason for that, gang, is because if we don't have really good images that make people happy, they're not going to stop the scroll. They're just going to keep on going, and you're going to miss out on the opportunity to catch those eyeballs. Okay, so what's the second thing we should do in merchandising?
You want to have a good product title.
Product title. And the reason we want the good product title is twofold. One, again, we want to make the customer happy, but they also need to be able to know very clearly what the product is the minute they glance across the title. And we want to make sure the title is searchable.
Yeah.
So if you have, if you have a florally, product title, but you don't say anything, that doesn't become a searchable item. So for example, let's say you have a throw pillow and you call it the Laurel Collection Flower Striped, gorgeousness. That's great, but it doesn't actually help anybody. So make sure you have things like it's an 18-inch pillow. Its colors are this color. It's made out of this material.
Decorative floral pillow.
So you have to put in all of those, all of those keywords that really help. Okay, and if you have the bandwidth to do one more thing in your merchandising, what is that?
Well, you want to talk about the product, so your descriptions and bullet points.
You want to make sure you have a good description.
Yeah.
And if you've got any kind of something that makes your product, I'm going to move ahead over here, more unique, this is where you want to put it in. This is where you want your unique selling feature. Okay? All right, so let's go up, and I think I want to talk a little bit more in depth just quickly about your product inventory, because there are a couple of things that I think that we encounter, Josh, with our clients, whether we're coaching or agency, that might help folks. The question we get a lot is, how many products do I actually need to have? We have what we call our best, our best case scenario, what we, best practices and we recommend, and then we know what's realistic. So, from a product inventory standpoint, we don't recommend you start with just 1 or 2 items. We recommend that you have
way
to.
too small a net.
There we go. Say that again for us.
It's way too small a net. So, it depends on the category. But I would say, as a general rule of thumb, you want to have somewhere between 25 to 50 products, because you're not sure which ones are really going to resonate.
Because you want the bigger net.
Right.
And what you mean by the bigger net is you need to have more reach for your customers. If your customers don't have, the ability to see a broader aspect of the line. And then you mentioned this before.
Well, there's a reason why Wayfair calls themselves, what is it, a zillion things home or a million things home?
Yeah, a zillion things home.
Yeah. So.
Okay, so then the other thing you mentioned just kind of briefly, but the other thing we get is how many pieces of each do we have to have? We understand the cost of inventory is expensive. And so what we do is it's kind of that risk benefit analysis.
Right.
So in the sense of, in some cases, if you're a big case good company, maybe you only need 10 of an item.
Right.
But if you're smaller and you're like, I don't know, a lamp company, you might want to have 50 of an item. So it really is on a case-by-case basis and a risk analysis, risk benefit. So I think this is you have to weigh the risks versus the rewards. The other thing you want to think about when you're talking about your inventory is what's your lead time for reorders?
Sure.
Right?
That's very important.
Because let's say you order 5 of something and it sells out in 2 weeks and it takes 3 more months to get it in.
Yep.
You're kind of up that creek with the proverbial paddle. All right. And then just to recap lead time. So lead time is, we get this question a lot. How do you calculate lead time? And lead time starts the minute your order comes to you.
Yeah. So there's 2 ways to look at lead time. The first is lead time would be on your end. Okay. So basically you get the order, it takes you 48 hours to get it shipped out from day one. The way the retailer will like to look at it is that's important too, but they look at actual delivery days. So if it takes you 2 days to process, and then based on your location, it takes another 3 days for the product to get there, or probably more realistically 4 or 5, then they would say your delivery days would be 7 or 8.
Make sense? So the faster you can get it out the door, the faster the customer will receive the product. So that's, no, you don't have any control over the delivery aspect, but you can control have control over how fast you can get it out of your warehouse, right? You can control this part, and this is key. Okay, so if you have any other questions for us, a good way to get in touch with us is to text us at 980-825-4376. We love to have any and all questions and comments. You can always comment below this video and we'll be in touch and answer any questions. If you want to learn more about how you can work with us, whether through our entry-level 8-week course or our ongoing coaching or our agency, just shoot us a text and we will have somebody reach out for you. All right, thanks guys, and see you next week with part 2.